Well, this could go really smoothly or become complete chaos. Today, we're moving 200 meat chickens out onto pasture for the first time, and this is honestly one of my favorite days of raising meat birds. These little guys have spent their entire lives inside the brooder, and in just a few minutes, they're about to touch grass for the first time. Let's see how they do. Hi, and welcome back to Whitetail Acres Farm. If you've been following along, you already know that we raised our first batch of meat birds earlier this summer. And now we're back at it again with batch number 2. We picked these guys up a couple weeks ago as day-old chicks, and just like their predecessors, they have been living in our homemade brooders here on the farm while they got their start in life. The brooders are something we built ourselves, and they have worked really well for us in terms of keeping the chicks warm, safe, and growing well in those critical first couple of weeks. If you haven't seen our brooder setup, I'll link that video up so you can check it out. But today we are graduating these birds. They are officially ready to head outside. I have to be honest, there's something a little bittersweet about this stage. When these chicks arrived, they were the most adorable tiny little yellow fluff balls you had ever seen. And now, they're big, white, mostly feathered and full of energy. A couple weeks ago, you could fit them in one hand, and now they basically eat like teenagers. Actually, I guess they are teenagers. They aren't cute little babies anymore, but they're not quite fully grown either. They're just this awkward in-between stage where they're all over the place, always hungry, and ready to take on the world. Today's an exciting day for these meat birds. And for us too, because we finally get to take them out of the brooder here and put them into the pasture, onto grass in our MRC 250. And let me tell you, they don't even know what's in store for them. This is a huge graduation day milestone, if you will. They're finally, for the first time, going to be able to experience being outside on grass, and we get the benefit of not having to worry about dealing with these brooders anymore, cleaning them out, filling the waters every day, filling the food every day. The MRC 250 is awesome, and I can't wait to get these birds out there to make our lives easier and to make the rest of their little lives more enjoyable. Now to figure out how to get them moved from the brooder to the mobile coop in the least amount of trips. This is our biggest batch of birds yet. We want to get them all moved at once and need to be creative with doing so. I'm sure we'll get comments about our method here, but hopefully this is the only time we'll be using this method. If you have any recommendations on where we can get a good deal on poultry crates, please drop it in the comments. We could really use some suggestions so we don't have to do this again. By the way, if you've been enjoying following along with everything happening here on the farm, hitting that subscribe button is one of the easiest ways to support our channel. And if you'd like to help us continue sharing videos like these, becoming a channel member is another great way to support what we're building here at Whitetail Acres Farm. Just hit that join button below. All right, let's get back to moving these birds. We use a chicken tractor called the MRC 250, and if you're not familiar with the chicken tractor, it's essentially a portable pen that allows us to move the birds to fresh ground on a regular basis. There's no floor, so the birds have direct access to the grass and the soil and the bugs and everything that is natural for them, while still being protected from predators and the elements. It's a system that's worked really well for us, and we're excited to get these guys onto it. First one going in.
Getting all 200 birds out of the brooders and into the chicken tractor on pasture is genuinely one of the most satisfying moments in the whole process of raising meat birds. You watch them go from spending their lives in this small confined space to stepping onto fresh green grass for the first time. And it's just really something special. There's an obvious energy shift. They start moving around and pecking at the ground, and you can just tell that they're in a much more natural environment, and that really matters to us. A lot of people ask us why we go through all of this work instead of just raising chickens inside, and honestly, because we think it's a better life for them. Out here they have access to fresh grass, insects, sunlight, and open space. They are able to express natural behaviors and get supplemental nutrition from the land itself. Compared to being confined indoors, pasture-raised birds are healthier, more active, and in our experience, they just do better overall. But I'll be honest with you, it's also better for us. Once these birds are out on pasture in the chicken tractor, our chores become so much more manageable. There's no cleaning out the coop every few days, no fighting the bedding, no ammonia buildup to deal with. We move the tractor, we check the feed and water, and we go about the rest of our day. It's so much cleaner and more efficient.
They're all starting. And this is our pretty new Mobile Range Coop 250, also called the MRC 250. And we just got it this year, and it's worked out great for our first batch of birds. This is now our second batch that we're doing this summer. And this coop is amazing. Better than the ones that we built ourselves, better than anything that we've seen other farmers using, and there's a lot of popular ones out there. But this one we love because it is very spacious. We can fit easily 200 birds in here, which we have now. Now it looks more spacious at the moment because these birds are so tiny. As they get bigger, it's going to fill up pretty good. So I would say, based on our experience, 200 is probably the max you want to put in here. But with this coop, not only can you fit so many birds in here, but we have automatic waterers. We have the huge hopper, that big yellow thing back there, that gets filled with about 70 gallons of water. And we only have to fill it maybe once a week or so, depending on how hot it is and how much they're drinking, but not very often when you're considering the way we used to do it with having to bring jugs of water out every single day, filling every morning, checking again every evening. That is so time-consuming and tedious and so much manual labor. With this, once, twice a week, fill it up. It's good to go. It auto-fills all of these waters. There's 6 different waters here for them. And then we also have a huge hopper, and that's where Ryan is right now, just filling that thing up. That hopper can hold, how much? 700, thank you. The hopper back there can hold 700 pounds of feed. So that takes a lot of the labor out of our day-to-day management of these birds. We only have to check on it a couple times a week, add a couple more bags in there if we need to. It's amazing. And we can set the timer for the feeders here so that way we can control how long during the day the birds get to eat, which is extremely important when you're dealing with meat birds, because anyone who's raised meat birds knows that meat birds can really overeat very easily. So us having that control with these feeders here and the timing is fantastic. We love it. And everything is solar powered. So it's really just setting up the system once, not having to worry about it. The only thing we really have to do each day is just come out here. We can hook the coop up to our side-by-side or a tractor, and then we just move it forward. So every day the birds get to be on fresh grass, and then the food auto feeds for them, the water auto fills for them, and it's easy for us and it's really enjoyable for them. So
We really love this system, and we're really excited that today's the day that these birds get to experience it.
Wood to block these two corners again.
I'm not sure if you can see it, but way back there behind the chicken tractor, a little fawn just popped out of the woods here and is actually hanging out, checking out the chickens. It's amazing. We're going to try to get close, but we're probably going to spook it. Now, something a little bit different about this batch compared to our first one, we're intentionally starting the chicken tractor in a completely different section of the field this time around. And there's a really good reason for that. One of the best things about pasture-raised poultry, and something not everybody talks about, is the natural fertilizer that these birds leave behind as they move across the field. Chicken manure is incredibly nutrient-rich, and when it's deposited in small amounts across a large area of land through rotational grazing, it actually does great things for your soil and your grass. Think of it as a natural, slow-release fertilizer program, except the birds are doing all of the work. By starting in a new section of the field, we're spreading those benefits to the land that did not get covered by our first batch. And over time, our goal is to rotate the birds across different sections so that more and more of our pasture benefit from what the birds leave behind. It's a great example of how the different parts of this farm work together. The birds benefit from the land, and the land benefits from the birds. So for the next couple of weeks, while the birds are still on the smaller side, we plan on moving the chicken tractor once a day. That's enough to give them fresh ground and fresh grass and keep things tidy without overcomplicating the schedule. Then as the birds get bigger, and with 200 birds, they'll get big fast. We may need to increase that to twice a day, but it's still a very easy process and very manageable. If you enjoyed spending the day with us, we'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this is the kind of content people enjoy, and it really helps our little family farm. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that join button. We're documenting this whole journey, the successes, failures, and everything in between, and we'd love to share it with you. Thank you to every one of you who supports our farm, and we will see you on the next one.